coming to you from the sunny studios at Premier Reputation Title in Estero. I'm on Corkscrew between 41 and 75. I'd love to have you here in the office with me. Feel free to join me. Go to guest.titleadam.com and let's get the show on the road.
Relax. I just want to take some pictures.
I don't think so.
No, but really, we're here having a lot of fun. We're talking about everything Florida, really, but it's Title Adam in the house. So my name is Adam, and I do title. They call me Title Adam. 4th of July week, holiday week, short week, Friday, 4th of July, rain guaranteed, all but guaranteed anyway. Someone who's been here in Southwest Florida for a long, long time. I've seen many 4th of Julys come and go, and they usually start with rain. They've got rain in the middle of the day. They've got rain in the evening, and there's just a short window that if you know, you capitalize on it, and you fire off your fireworks, and you end the night with 10 fingers and toes. Title Adam's wishing you a happy and safe one. We've got over 1,226 open houses from today through Sunday. So even with a holiday, there is a lot of action. There's a lot of motivated sellers out there that want you to come through their home. They want you to tour it. They want you to see everything. They want you to fall in love and then make a deal. If you're a buyer right now in Southwest Florida or in Florida in general, you're in the driver's seat. It's up to you. You make the decision. But I'll tell you that homes are not selling as fast as they were a year ago. They don't have as much glue keeping them together because, as I've said before, buyers are constantly looking at new options, new inventory, sellers that may be more motivated than you to get out of Florida. And I think that right now what you're seeing is, hey, who you hire matters. The real estate agent that's actually going to hustle for you. You know, a lot of real estate agents in the past 5 years had this great list and leave technology that they would do. They would do a 3-step system. They would list the property. They would put it on the MLS, and they would pray for the offer to come in. And that's just not enough. That doesn't work in today's market. And the pros are out there, and they're hustling. They're putting their inventory in front of buyers in different and creative ways. They're talking about the product. They're not just letting the multiple listing service syndicate out to thousands of websites, which it does. It does get that product out there in front of everyone, but in a sea of inventory, that's just not enough. If you've been through the process in the last 6 to 12 months, you already know who you hire matters. And no different when it comes to title insurance. You want to be talking to your realtor early and often and let them know that you're tagging in Title Adam. Once it goes under contract, send it to me. I'm going to bind it. I'm going to close that deal up nice and tight, make sure everyone is protected, and I'm going to do it with a smile as well. We may even jump on behind a microphone afterward just to talk about how good that experience really was. We'll close you right here at the closing table in the house, or we'll do a mobile notary. Do it any way you want. I close all over the state. Now, I've brought this up in the past, but Premier Reputation is powering Title Adam's Florida business. If you're buying, selling, building, refinancing, or doing any kind of a deal in Florida, tag in Title Adam. And through Premier Reputation Title, we will take you to the closing table faster and with less stress. But in the event that you're one of my friends or listeners in the state of Michigan, we have an option for you there as well, and that's Reputation First Title Agency. And that's also owned by Kim Tortora. She's an absolute rock star. So she's going to be handling the Michigan side, and Title Adam is down here in Florida with a really, really special and talented team. We've got an office in Bonita Springs and one in Estero. And hey, guys, more to come. Definitely saying more to come on that, because as we continue to grow, we need more space. We have here in the Estero office, we have 5 licensed title insurance agents. We have a team, and we're doing really great work. We're doing it right the first time. We're doing it for a fair price, and we're doing it cheerfully, happily. So if maybe you've been in business with someone else in the title industry for some time now, and maybe you've forgotten just how good it could be and how good it is to work with someone who really cares about your business and who's trying to propel you to that next level. I would tell you that if what I'm doing here, talking into this microphone, makes your title agent pick up the phone and call you and court you because they're worried you might go somewhere, you're welcome. Happy birthday from Title Adam, because I'm going to be out there pushing the bar up. I'm going to be out there pushing the market and really challenging you to shop that. Shop the service that you're getting with my competitors. I've got a couple of things that I know make me a lethal option for you when it comes to title insurance. One, I'm licensed. And we could spend an entire episode talking about licensed versus unlicensed. But the reality is this: a license exists. I'm qualified. I've obtained the license, And I'm in good standing as a licensed title insurance agent in the state of Florida. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I always have to say, why aren't you licensed? Why are you working in an industry where licenses exist and yet you don't have one? That's the first item. Number two, I'm a marketing expert. I understand marketing. I've sold real estate at a high level. I've originated loans at a high level. And now I'm doing title insurance at a high level. And I understand how to market those services and how to talk about the good news that you're making out there and how to really let people know what you're doing. And then third would be that I am a market expert, or I'm a title expert, I guess you would say. And I understand title work. And it's not fun, not really exciting. It's highly technical and you need to understand it. And while I don't know everything and I'm learning a lot, I know a lot. And I've been through a lot. Also work with a team of very, very talented individuals that have been through even more than me. And so then when you go into a collective and you start really looking at it that way, you can feel really, really confident working with Title Adam and the team here at Premier Reputation Title. Again, we're here in Estero. We'd love to have you come in and visit with us. We get beautiful offices, a wonderful closing table, and you can bring your clients in and you can feel really, really good about that. Because I've been at closing tables around Lee County and Collier County, and I can tell you some of them are kind of dingy. Some of them, you don't feel good when you walk out of them. You feel like you need a bath. We're not going to name any names here, but you've been in them. You know what I'm talking about. The acoustic ceiling tile is waterlogged and just about ready to fall on top of your head when you're at the conference room table. Go into the bathroom, the toilet's leaking on the floor, stinks. And even getting into, no, we won't. We're not going to do that. We're not going to go there. Title Adam in the house has been booking some new talent, though, and some new guests coming onto the show. We had 3 bookings today, 2 real estate agents here in the local market and a mortgage lender. And this mortgage lender I'm really excited to have in the house because I've known Mike for a long time. I follow him on social media and Facebook and TikTok, I believe he's on as well. He's one of those guys that in a world of loan officers who are overly optimistic about what's going to happen in the market, Mike is the kind of guy that will tell you, you don't qualify for that home. Maybe you should rent for a year. Maybe we shouldn't fraudulently find a way to put you into a home that you may lose in a year. I value his input. I'm excited to have him on the show. And I asked him, could I get you in to hang out in the house for a little bit? He said, Adam, I'll be there. So we're looking for him to come in next week and have a lot of great content to share with you after that chat. We've got some real estate agents that want to come in and talk about what they're doing, and you're more than welcome. The link to schedule is guest.titleadam.com. We tried to keep it as easy as possible, but pick up the phone and call me as well. My cell phone, 239-888-5757. You can hit me on the hip, and I'll be there for you. I'm trying to run the scheduling for the show through a calendar so that we don't get ourselves in trouble and have company coming over and not be ready for you. And as everyone listening knows, this is equipment that we just acquired and we're just starting to really learn how to use it. So thanks for being patient through it. And I know that there's some rough edges that we're working on, but the reality is, and I said this before, if you buy the equipment and you don't turn it on and you don't use it, it doesn't serve anyone. And so here we are using it. And we're going to bring you what information we think we can that would be pleasant to listen to, that might be entertaining, and certainly that would be relevant to the title industry, which is what we spend a lot of our day doing. Just opened up escrow on a new deal coming in from LaBelle. Was excited. It's a repeat customer, and I've had an opportunity to work with this gentleman on a couple of deals now. And when I asked him if I could expect more business from him, he said, absolutely. There was a night and day difference in the level of service that he was receiving with the previous title company. And it's just a simple, it's a story that tale as old as time. You're loving them, you're taking good care of them, and you get spoiled. And you stop taking good care of your customers and you stop giving them that very, very top shelf service. And telling you, I'm going to be calling that real estate agent and I'm going to be asking him, how's it going? When's the last time your title agent called you? Not to tell you that they didn't close on time or that there's a problem or that you didn't do something you were supposed to do. When's the last time your title agent called you and said, hey, miss you, thinking about your business? How can we get the next deal together? Because I don't believe that my competition does that. I really don't. And you can sound off on that if you want. Maybe you can help educate me, but I don't think that my competition will pick up the telephone and say, hey, how are you? You doing okay? Is there something I can do to help you? How can I help you create a deal that we can close together? They're sitting back. They're waiting for you to send them a contract. Let me tell you, sometimes I wake up in the morning and I think about the fact that there's over 400 licensed title agents here in my little sandbox that are doing the same thing that I'm doing. They want to do it well and they want to do it often. That's a lot of competition. And the reality is that the majority of the title insurance agents in here fit into kind of a mold of efficient, friendly, competitively priced. I think that's baseline. That's nothing that we should be giving awards out for. That's being a business owner and taking good care of your customer. But let's talk about going a little bit above and beyond. And let's talk about what that looks like. Now, obviously, we have RESPA that we've got to work with. And I'm not trying to pay your car payment every month. I'm not trying to do that. But I want to provide you with opportunities to grow your business. And I want to provide you with, what do we say? Time, talent, and treasure. I want to provide you with that so that we can then grow together. That's really what we're talking about here at Title Adam in the House. We've got a lot of properties on the market here in Southwest Florida. So I'd love to hear from you about how you're actively marketing, maybe something different that you're doing to move inventory. And certainly anyone that comes onto the show, I'm going to be asking them some of those questions like that. And spent a lot of time in Estero. That's where my office is, where I sit, right here on Corkscrew Road. But we also have offices in Bonita Springs. And I live in Lehigh Acres. So you'll see me somewhere in between. And then occasionally I'm spreading out a little bit. Last week I was out in Clewiston and hanging out there at Kane Nutrition, closed a deal. And love to have the opportunity. And while I was there hanging with one of my top agents, I went ahead and asked for the business on the next deal. It looks like we're going to put another one together there with that same seller. They declined the photos this time around, but they said, well, when we sell this next one, we will. That's something Title Adam really enjoys, is to take a photo, especially at the closing table, if we can get one. I like to print it, and I like to look back on it. I've told some stories about customers that I've had over the years. I've been in the real estate industry for a long time, guys. Okay, I got in at 18 doing residential mortgages. I did that. I got into real estate at 34 and sold real estate. And then I got into title insurance in 2022. And so I'm coming up on my third year licensed here in the industry. I've sat at many closing tables. I've been in many chairs at the closing table, and I like title. I like it a lot. Applying the experiences that I've had over the years in different roles, I like to believe that allows me to get you to the closing table faster and with less stress. Allows me to say, I've stubbed my toe on that before. I've made that mistake before. Let me help you here. I've seen this. That is what I'm trying to do to really give value to my partners, is to take the lessons that I've learned, the stripes that I've earned, and really use that to better everyone around me, including myself. 4th of July holiday week here in the sunny studios of Premier Reputation Title. It is hot outside, but in a typical summer weather pattern, we've got clouds, and we know that we're going to get some rain as well. Speaking of, we needed this rain so bad, and I got news for you. We're not overflowing, so we need more of it, and we'll continue to welcome it as it comes in that typical pattern, which is usually, 10 and 2? 10 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon? Hot, muggy, steamy. Actually, a lot of really great fishing coming up as well. I caught my first tarpon in July. Never want to put out any kind of content without taking a quick second just to remind you, fraud is everywhere. If you're working in real estate, if you're working in title, mortgage, if you're working in the industry, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when you're going to be impacted by fraud. Stay alert. Share best practices. If you see something, say something. And that applies to your peers. Share those best practices. Share it with your broker. Share it with your title agent. And your title agent should be sharing it with you. When's the last time that your title agent picked up the phone and said, there's something funky going on in the market? I'd like to share it with you so that you don't get snared up in it. They haven't, have they? No, they haven't. Well, you can come into the house and you can talk to Title Adam about it. Go to guest.titleadam.com. Fill out a short form, and I'll be right in touch. Going on a hyper-local note, I just want to say a big thank you to my surveyor, Mark Lechner of Target Surveying and Target Lien Search. I also wanted to throw a thank you out to my underwriter, Mario, with Westcor. Mark and Mario took us out last night. We joined up with a couple of real estate agents at Headpens. We bowled well. I don't have scores to report. It wasn't my best night bowling, but it was certainly one of the most fun times I've had out in a while. And we went from Headpens then to Wicked Wings 2, which is on Alico. And if you know, that's where you want to go for the wings. So we stopped there, and then we ended up going to another place called the Library, which is in Gulf Coast Town Center. So I'm telling you all this just to tell you, Title Adam loves Estero, loves Southwest Florida. And if you're ever not sure where to go, check in with me, because I may be somewhere cool that you can just pull right on up. The Library at Gulf Coast Town Center, very cool vibe. It was pretty calm in there when I went in, pretty chill. But I could see going in there and maybe starting a little bit earlier. Now that I'm approaching 45 years of age, I like to be home and relaxing by 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So Mario, Mark, thank you for taking us out. Love that. Love doing business with you. Love doing deals together. Love knowing that my customers are in really great hands. If I need a property survey, I know that Mark and his team at Target Surveying are going to do a great job. And same thing with a lien search. If I need a lien search, I'm going through Target Lien Search. That's my provider that I use. When I'm standing behind a deal and binding it up and closing it tight, I want to know that the information that I'm using to make that decision and to write that insurance policy is solid, ironclad. And so that starts with who you are hiring and who you're hanging out with, so to speak. So I like to hang out with those guys. I want to thank them for spending some time with me last night. Also, Real Estate by Barber was there. Compass was there. We had a really nice time, and we'll continue to do that. This is another thing I wanted to make sure to mention to you, and this is, again, on kind of a local Southwest Florida scale. My attorney, Kevin Jersinski, just published a book, and I got to tell you, I was very, very excited to get a copy of it. I got it on Amazon.com, and I would encourage you to do the same. The book is called Interview with a Spy, Revelations on the John F. Kennedy Assassination and the Impact on My Generation of Young Americans. Kevin F. Jersinski. Kevin's my attorney. He was my dad's attorney as well, and we actually just wrapped up court case together, and we had the opportunity and the pleasure of working together. And I thought it was really cool that he took the time to put together a book and to publish it. I think it's a fantastic read. And I'd love to get him in the house to talk about it once he comes back from his booking tour. He's been talking about it a lot. And I can see why after reading it. It's a really great book. Interview with a Spy, Kevin F. Jersinski, Revelations on the JFK Assassination and the Impact on My Generation of Young Americans. You'll be gripped from the start. I can tell you that. I've got to write a review for him on Amazon. And then this is the hot news down here in Southwest Florida today. This is NBC2 News. GulfCoastNewsNow.com. Trump visits site of new Alligator Alcatraz immigration detention facility in Florida. This has been all over the airwaves today, so we'll go ahead and jump on that as well. Everglades, Florida, a new immigration detention center deep in the Florida Everglades is scheduled to open on Tuesday, drawing a visit from President Donald Trump, who's highlighting his border enforcement agenda. Nicknamed Alligator Alcatraz by supporters and critics alike, the facility has ignited backlash from environmentalists, Native American groups, and immigration advocates. Trump participated in a guided walking tour of the facility at 10 a.m., which will be followed by a roundtable discussion. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, DeSantis, and U.S. Rep. Byron Donalds are expected to join Trump at the site. The DHS said Trump's visit is intended to showcase the administration's efforts to expand detention capacity and streamline deportations. The remote site within Big Cypress National Preserve is located approximately 50 miles west of Miami at the long-abandoned Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport, a 39-square-mile expanse of concrete situated deep within the Everglades. DeSantis utilized emergency powers to seize the land and expedite construction with encouragement from the Trump administration. The site includes a 10,500-foot runway that DeSantis says will streamline deportations. For comparison, it's 3,307 feet longer than the longest runway at Punta Gorda Airport and 1,500 feet shorter than the runway at RSW, which is 12,000 feet. There's only one road leading in, and the only way out is a one-way flight, said White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. It is isolated, and it is surrounded by dangerous wildlife and unforgiving terrain. The facility can hold up to 5,000 people. State officials say the location was selected for its national security benefits and logistical simplicity, but others have called it symbolic of a punitive immigration strategy. Construction was led by Florida officials with major funding from the Federal Emergency Management Agency. While detainees had not yet arrived by Monday evening, transfers are expected to begin shortly. The site has drawn sharp criticism from environmental groups who filed a federal lawsuit on Friday alleging the facility was fast-tracked without a legally required environmental review. Elise Bennett, a senior attorney at the Center for Biological Diversity, said the project violates the National Environmental Policy Act. This area was meant to be a preserve, a sanctuary for our waters, lands, and wildlife, Bennett said. Putting a mass detention center here is completely at odds with that vision. Opposition has also come from American Indian leaders who said the land is sacred, and from activists who argue the public was given little notice before construction began. Jessica Namath, who has camped outside the site for 2 weeks, said the pace of development has been staggering. We had 15 days notice, and now there's basically a city and a detention center here, she said. Despite objections, supporters praised the facility's design and mission. Attorney General James Uthmeyer, who coined the nickname Alligator Alcatraz, boy, he's a popular guy right now, said it offers unmatched security for enforcing immigration policy. There's really nowhere to go. If you're housed there, if you're detained there, there's no way in, no way out, he said in a recent interview. And let's go ahead and cue up a quote we had here from Governor Ron DeSantis when he was talking a little bit about the Alligator Alcatraz. Go ahead.
They ain't going anywhere once they're there unless you want them to go somewhere, because good luck getting to civilization.
Thanks, Ron. Appreciate that. And best of luck to you. It's a controversial subject. I know that it's highly polarizing, and everybody seems to want to express their opinion on it. As a real estate professional, as a title insurance professional, we're talking to buyers and sellers, and some of them are talking about that at the closing table. That's what we're dealing with down here. And I live here, and I'm pretty well apprised on what's going on in the current events and news, and I don't recall really hearing a lot about this happening, or at least the approval stage. All of a sudden, it's there. And so I think there's some valid concerns about that the notification period for the public, the opportunity for the public to weigh in on concerns. And listen, we're not even talking about who you voted for. We're not talking about the ballot box. I'm talking about the environment. I'm talking about going into one of the most sensitive ecological areas of our state and loading a lot of concrete, just disrupting everything down there. And the Everglades has been through so much over the last 50 to 75 years. Don't know how history will look at this, if they'll say that this was a good idea or a bad idea. But it certainly does cause a lot of conversation. We'll just put it that way. Try to stay as neutral as I can here. It's Title Adam in the house. If you're buying, selling, building, refinancing, or doing a deal, tag me in. I'll get you to the closing table faster and with less stress. If you use another title agent, I'll put your ass in Alligator Alcatraz.
I don't think so.
Booking slots are filling up on our guest list here for the podcast, and I would encourage you to go ahead and jump on now. Select a time that works for you. And we did have to kind of set some spots because there is a lot of work that goes into putting out content. And so while I never envisioned making a podcast about making a podcast, Jade and I talked about not gatekeeping kind of the experience and how that's happened. So let me just say that it takes a lot of effort to get the content, but then it takes some time to edit it as well. And so while you want to have all of these conversations, you've got to go back through and really tidy it up, because that's what you want as the listener. You want a finished product that's easy on the ear and that sounds right and has fewer ahs and ums and really is just something that nice and polished. Well, I'm also doing a full-time job as a title insurance agent here. So I am doing what I can to put out that content. And some of the messages may be a little shorter than others. When we have those really great conversations where we want to dive deep, please know we will. But for now, we're going to go ahead and shut it down and get back to work. If you're buying, selling, building, doing a deal in Florida, tag me in. 239-888-5757. Love to have you here on the show. Have a great day.